Hello and welcome to week 8. The topic of this week is money, which I know that's everybody's favorite topic. But luckily, Pastor Joe or Michael will be taking the pressure off this week and giving a talk before we meet in our groups. So hopefully that's helpful. Remember that this week you'll probably remember from your past rooted experiences that this week, the money week, is formatted very similar to launch night. So you'll come in at 6:30 and we'll have worship, and then Pastor Joe or Michael will talk about money, and then we'll break up into our groups for about an hour. So if you are a non-Tuesday group, remember that this week you're not meeting at your normal date and time. You're going to be meeting on Tuesday at 6:30 here at the church, and the facilitator meeting is at 5:30, and dinner will be provided and all that. So just remember those important details. Those are big ones for this week. You'll still do all the normal things in your group time: memory verses, homework, discussion, housekeeping, prayer to end. I would recommend taking some notes during the talk and maybe writing down a few questions. That way you can ask questions specifically based on Joe or Michael's talk, in addition to questions about the homework. Sometimes people can be hesitant to talk about money, understandably. So make sure that you're praying this week and asking God for maybe to open up the members of your group to this topic, and that discussion would be good. Also, if possible, a few details from this week. It's ideal to be done with everybody's 5-minute stories this week. Just because in week 9, people are going to tell their 2-minute story, and it's maybe a little awkward to tell your 5-minute story and then 10 minutes later tell your 2-minute story. So if you're going to, maybe need to add one person this week to finish up the stories, you could do that. It's not the end of the world if you're not going to be done this week, but it is ideal. So just a heads up about that. Speaking of those 2-minute stories, there are a few things you'll do this week there are a few things you'll do in week 9 that you want to set up your group for this week, week 8. And one of those things is the 2-minute stories. So make sure that your group knows everyone will be sharing the 2-minute stories next week in group. They'll write out these 2-minute stories as part of their homework, but just give them a heads up that they're actually going to be sharing these out loud. Another thing you'll be doing in week 9 that you'll want to prep your group for this week is one-word affirmations. How this works is everybody will come prepared with a word or phrase that is affirming for everyone else in the group. And during your group, you'll spend time kind of going around and sharing all those. So you want to give your group a heads up this week that you're going to be doing it next week, so they can spend time thinking of those words and be prepared when they come week 9. So we'll talk about facilitating that next week, but just give your group a heads up this week. You could also, if you want, do those one-word affirmations week 10, because 2-minute stories can sometimes take a long time. So if you do decide to do them week 10, you don't need to set your group up for them this week. You can wait till next week. So that's totally up to you. Either way, one-word affirmations week 9 or week 10. But just remember that the week before, you want to give them a heads up. So those are the upcoming things you want to prep your group for this week. A few reminders of things coming up. Remember, like I mentioned earlier, that it is Money Week, and if you're a non-Tuesday group, you're not going to be meeting at your normal day and time. We will be providing snacks this week, just like on launch night. So if you have somebody signed up to bring snacks, you can just push them to the next week. So that's that. Also, the celebration is coming up in a few weeks, remember? So please, if you haven't already, get an RSVP for that. I need to know how many people are coming from your group, and also the number and ages of any kids needing childcare at the celebration. That way we can make sure we're prepared for everything. Finally, remember that we are having baptisms at the celebration, and if anybody in your group has not been baptized, this is a great time for them to get baptized if they've decided to follow Jesus. The celebration is a great time to do that. If there are people in your group who do want to be baptized and have said that, then please just send me their name, and then I'll follow up with them with all the other information. Sometimes people have questions wondering if friends and family can come watch them get baptized at the celebration. And yes, they can. Friends and family are invited to come at 7 o'clock if they want to come watch somebody get baptized. We're going to start eating dinner around 6:30, and unfortunately we can't provide dinner for all the friends and family coming to watch baptisms. So if friends and family do want to come watch, they can come at 7, which would be just as we're ending up dinner. This would be just as we're finishing up with dinner, and then people can come in and sit through the service, and baptisms will be kind of the last thing that we do, so probably around 8 o'clock. But yeah, if anybody does want to get baptized, send me their name. Also, if people are thinking about it, there's still plenty of time for them to let you know. So it's not like I need to know, it's not like I need to know today. You can let me know over the course of the next few weeks. So that's all the things for this week. In review, remember that this week's format is a little different, that we're going to have non-Tuesday groups meeting on Tuesday instead of your normal day and time. In group, you want to prep your group for the two upcoming things. One is the 2-minute stories, and the other is the one-word affirmations you'll be doing either week 9 or week 10. The things I need from you is an RSVP for how many people are going to be coming to the celebration, along with how many kids will be needing childcare and their ages. And then remember to continue to be having conversations with those people in your group who you've identified as potential leaders. Let them know what you see in them, and if they're interested in taking a next step of leadership, whatever it is, we're going to talk about what to do about that next week. So if you have any questions, let me know. As always, keep praying, keep going to God for help. I hope these videos are helpful, but we know that our best help comes from the Lord. So make sure you're still spending time in prayer each week for your group. That's all I have this week. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you soon.